For most of human history, human relationships were built around closeness, community, and survival together. People depended on family, neighbors, friendships, strong social bonds. Connection was not optional, it was necessary, but modern life changed something important. Today, economic pressure is beginning to affect not only how people live, but how people emotionally connect with one another. Modern society became increasingly expensive. Housing costs increased, living expenses increased, work hours increased, financial pressure increased, and slowly, survival began consuming more of human attention. When human beings experience constant financial stress, emotional energy changes too. The mind becomes focused on bills, work, stability, survival, future uncertainty. And over time, many people become emotionally exhausted without fully realizing it. Perhaps this is why modern relationships often feel different from previous generations. People communicate constantly online, yet many feel emotionally disconnected in real life, because connection requires time, emotional presence, mental energy, and financial pressure quietly reduces all three. Modern work culture intensified this dramatically. Many people now spend most of life working, commuting, recovering from work, worrying about money. As a result, relationships often receive whatever emotional energy remains afterward, and sometimes very little remains. Interestingly, economic pressure also changes how people evaluate relationships themselves. Financial stability increasingly affects dating, marriage, friendships, social status, long-term trust. Not always because people became shallow, but because survival anxiety changes human priorities psychologically. When life feels financially unstable, people naturally seek security, predictability, emotional safety, and money became deeply connected to all three. Perhaps this is why modern dating often feels emotionally complicated. Many people now quietly evaluate income, ambition, financial stability, lifestyle potential alongside emotional connection itself, because modern relationships no longer exist separately from economic reality. Social media intensified this even further. People constantly compare lifestyles, vacations, homes, careers, visible success, and slowly, relationships become influenced by comparison and external appearance. Connection becomes harder when people feel pressured to constantly perform success publicly. Modern individualism also changed human behavior. People increasingly focus on personal survival, productivity, self-optimization, financial growth. And while ambition itself is not negative, endless pressure can weaken emotional closeness over time. Friendships change too. As people grow older, work and survival responsibilities often replace social connection. Many adults quietly lose close friendships not through conflict, but through exhaustion, distance, and lack of time. Perhaps this is why loneliness became increasingly common even in highly connected societies. Technology created constant communication, but emotional presence became rarer. People are surrounded by notifications while still feeling emotionally unseen. Economic pressure also affects trust psychologically. When life feels financially uncertain, people often become more guarded emotionally. They protect time, energy, money, vulnerability, because instability creates self-protection instincts. This does not mean people stopped caring about one another. Human beings still deeply crave love, friendship, emotional understanding, connection. But modern life increasingly competes against the emotional space required to maintain those relationships deeply. Perhaps one of the biggest changes modern economies created is this: people are no longer only trying to build meaningful lives. Many are simply trying to survive financially without collapsing emotionally. And survival pressure changes human behavior more than society often realizes. Maybe that is why relationships today sometimes feel more fragile, distant, or transactional. Not because human beings became less emotional, but because modern life left many people mentally exhausted before real connection even begins. And perhaps the deeper fear is this: if economic pressure continues reshaping human behavior, human connection itself may slowly become harder to sustain authentically. So let me ask you, do you think modern financial pressure is changing how people connect emotionally with each other? Let me know what you think below.